Good day, everyone. So our topic is soul-making, improvisation, and appropriation. Learning outcomes. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain how meanings can be derived from art, discuss how improvisation can make an artwork distinctive, and identify the issues and problems that can arise because of appropriation of art. First, the role of art and history. Throughout human history, art has served as an essential tool to record, communicate, and preserve human experiences, traditions, and beliefs. From early cave paintings to modern installations, art has documented the journey of civilization. So, ang art daw kay gigamit siya nga para mag-record, mag-communicate ug ma-preserve ang mga experience or belief sa mga tao sa una. From the earliest cave paintings to modern artwork, ang art can nag-help na siya nga mag-document sa story of civilizations. Even Paleolithic societies, despite lacking advanced tools, found ways to depict their surroundings and experiences through symbols and drawings, a reflection of their environment, a way of life. So during Paleolithic period, walay mga advanced tools ang mga tao. But still, naka-create sila art. Ginagamit nila ang mga simple drawings o symbols para mapakita ang ilang surroundings o ang ilang mga daily life. Their art reflects how they live and what they experience. Art acts as a mirror of the past, allowing future generations to understand events, values, and worldviews of earlier societies. As technology advanced, humans developed new ways to use art as a medium of communication, from printmaking and photography to digital media. So ang art daw, kay nag-act daw na siya nga as mirror sa atong past. Nag-help kun sa ato nga ma-understand ang values, events, ug ideas sa people who live long before us. Pero as technology develop, naka-found na ang humans og ways paggamit sa art, like form of communication, like printing, making, photography, and digital media. However, with these developments came a question of ownership and authorship. In the 20th century, people began to question who truly owns an artwork, the artist who created it or the audience who interprets it. So, as art developed daw, ang mga tao kay ga-ask na question about sa ownership o sa authorship. Sa 20th century, gawonder na ang people kung kinsa gyud daw ang gaon sa artwork. Ang artist ba daw nga nagbuhat sa art or ang audience nga ga-interpret ani. So kinsa man gyud ang owner sa art. So first, let's soul making. So what is soul making? Soul making means that art helps shape, express, and refine the human soul. When we create or experience art, we are not just seeing colors, forms, or sounds. We are connecting with emotions, meanings, and experiences that transform our inner life. Soul making means that art helps shape, express, and improve our inner selves. Pag mag-create daw ta or ma-experience na tong art, we are not just seeing shapes or colors daw. We also connecting with emotion and experiences that can change us on the inside. To make sense of any form of expression, humans rely on context, language, and symbols. Just as we interpret words and grammar in language, we also interpret visual cues in art. So, to understand art, humans rely on context, language, and symbols. Just like sa pag-understand nato sa grammars ug words in language, ina-interpret pud nato ang visual cue sa art. Tapos mag-help ni siya nga makita nato ang meaning sa atong mga nakita.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir. So, I am Rachel Macy Polvo. So, let's move on to soul-making and making deriving meaning from art. Understanding an artwork requires familiarity with its visual elements, such as line, shape, color, texture, and space, as well as the principle of design, which organize these elements meaningfully. So, it means enable to understand a certain artwork, you need to know and familiar first the basic elements, which are the example is line, shapes, color, texture, and space, and principles of design, which makes the art as a whole. So let's move on. Next is soul making, making and deriving meaning from art. So viewers must possess a certain awareness and sensitivity to appreciate art fully. This awareness includes understanding how the artist's choices or form, color, and symbolism contribute to meaning of the work. So, so it means that a an individual can appreciate an art in a way that he has a sense of awareness onto the art. So in order for a person to appreciate an art, he must uh, he must so he must know the art fully. So next is soul making and deriving meaning from art. Without such an understanding, one might miss the deeper emotional, cultural, or historical message embedded in the artwork. Therefore, soul making in art appreciation means connecting emotionally and intellectually with an artwork to experience in its fullness and entirely. So, it is clear here that if a person if a person cannot it's not cannot appreciate art, but if a person cannot understand a certain art, he or she missed the deeper part of an emotional, cultural, and historical message. So for you to understand or cannot miss the so what we call the exciting part of being a appreciation of art, you must know to appreciate a certain art. So in all, a viewer also needs awareness and sensitivity. This means noticing how the artist uses form, color, and symbols to express a message. Without this awareness, the deeper ideas or emotions, such as cultural stories, personal feelings, or historical themes, might be missed. Therefore, soul making happens when a viewer connects emotionally and intellectually with the artwork. So it is clear that an individual or a person can connect to a certain art if he appreciates and know the importance of a certain uh, can appreciate every part of the artwork. So next is soul making, style, form, and content. So let's tackle first the style. Style is the unique and recognizable way an artist uses elements and media. It reflects the artist's personality, training, and even the culture or period in which they lived. So, in other words, style is the unique way an artist create their work. It shows their personal technique, background, or the art movement they belong to. So, style is style is the what we call that, it's the artist technique, how he or she creates a art. Is it he create that in a unique way, or he create in a regular way? So that's it. So next is, so according to Rathos in 2013, style may also be linked to a school movement or cultural tradition such as Impressionism, Cubism, or abstract or expressionism. So next is the form. So form refers to what the audience actually sees, the visible arrangement of shapes, color, lines, and texture that creates harmony or contrast according to design's principle. It's represented the total physical structure of the artwork. So in other words, content is the meaning behind the artwork. It may show an emotion, tell a story, gives a message, or express a social issue. So, in short words, so content is the meaning, or the what we call that, a meaning or a behind story of that of a certain artwork. What that kana, like unsay gipasabot dan ha, unsa, like once you see an art, is like for example a farmer nga nagtanom siya og kanang mga humay. So it shows, kung kita makakita dadto, if for example kung ako makakita dadto, kanang it means hard work. So other than that, it means and daghan pa siya example. So next is the content. Content is the meaning or message manam ko sa content. Like content. Content is the meaning or message behind the visual form. It may express emotion, social commentary, personal experience, or universal thoughts. So content, I know. Balik ta sa form. So form is ang content di ay is mao siya ang meaning behind the story. And for the form is what we actually see in the artwork. It includes the arrangement of color, shapes, and lines, texture. Form is the physical appearance of the artwork. So ang form is what we see, or what we visualize within that certain artwork. So ang content is siya ang mao siya ang katong meaning or message behind that certain art or any artwork. So the unity of style, form, and content gives every artwork its distinct identity and emotional power, allowing the viewer to interpret and connect with the multiple levels. So let me give an example. So for example, I will give just imagine a painting of a mother holding her child. So the style there is the artist uses soft pastel colors and gentle brush strokes. So it is similar to Impressionism. So kabalo na mo unsa ang Impressionism. Impressionism is naa siya ma-visualize nimo siya nga tao siya, ma-visualize nimo siya nga hayop siya, or ang drawing is na siya kuan gyud kanang definite nga drawing nga makita gid nimo, ma-visualize nimo siya nga tao siya. So mao to ang style dito. So next is kung kato makakita ka dadto nga certain art nga ang a mother holding her child. So ang form dito is the viewer sees curved lines, warm colors, and a bright light focused on the mother's face. So kung unsa imong nakita dito, every lines, every strokes, and every color is that is form. So last is the content is mao gapon a painting of a mother holding her child. So ang content dito or ang meaning behind the story is like for example is the painting expresses love, protection, and family bonding.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, classmates. Improvisation is the act of creating or performing something without prior preparation. It involves spontaneous decision making and embracing uncertainty in the creative process. So, ang improvisation means without prior preparation. Kanang in the act ba, kanang walay script. Like for example, kanang in dance, kanang mga hip hop, di ba wala na sila yung mga script nga ginatanaw kung the spot di na sila nga musayaw ug sa kanta po sa music. One of the example is ang kuan ang kanang mga rapper, mga beatbox, di ba on the spot man na sila gyapon nga gaga kuan, wala sila ginatanaw nga script. So in art, improvisation represents a break from rigid traditions, allowing artists to explore new ideas, forms, and expression freely. So um what is break rigid tradition? So ang break rigid traditions means moving away from established inflexible customs, norms, or practices. It involves challenging conventional ways of thinking or doing things and embracing new ideas, methods, or perspectives. This can lead to innovation, progress, and greater freedom of expression. So, ang improvisation, this approach gained prominence in 20th century as artists sought liberation from strict rules of composition and realism. So, ang improvisation kuno mas na ila siya o prominence in the 20th century. Bali mas na well known siya sa 20th century. Improvisation encourages authenticity and individuality, resulting in artworks that feels more organic, experimental, and alive. So, ang improvisation usually means that when artists create without pre-planning, they are more likely to express their true selves and unique perspectives. The spontaneous nature of improvisation allows for genuine emotions through the personal styles to emerge, resulting in artworks that are more original and reflective of the artist's inner world. When artists begin their work, they often have general concept or plan, but the creative process may evolve as they respond to their emotion, environment, and materials. So, in the general concept of plans, improvisation refers to the ability to adapt o imong gi-adapt o nag-adjust o magbuhat kag solusyon on the spot bisag wala nimo gi-expect ang situation or deviation from the original plan. It involves using available resources, knowledge, and creative to navigate unforeseen circumstances. O pwede po siya mo achieve sa mga imong mga plano nimo nga bisag wala nimo siya gihuna-huna. So, improvisation is not a lack of discipline. It is a dynamic dialogue between the artist's intention and the natural flow of creation. So, improvisation in dynamic dialogue nagre nag-refer siya sa spontaneous o collaborative creation of conversation between individuals or characters. Involves active listening, quick thinking, and the ability to respond authentically in the moment, resulting in engaging, unpredictable, and often creative exchange.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, classmates. My topic is improvisation. During the during the 1960s, improvisation became a visible movement, particularly in New York City art galleries. Artists began blending visual arts, dance, and performance to create live interactive experience known as happening. Improvisation sa 1960s nahimong isa ka importante nga artistic nga kalihukan apil na sa New York ditong panahona. Daghan mga artista nga gusto mo bulag sa tradisyonal nga mga forma sa arte sama sa pagpintal o nagsugod sila sa pag-experiment sa mga action or paglihok o kusog nga mga ideya. Kana nga eksperimento nitutol sa paghimo sa live interactive nga gitawag nga happenings. Next is this performance these performances laid the groundwork for modern body art and performance art, where the process of creation was often more important than the finished product. Ang improvisasyon daw kay naay importanteng papel sa paglambo sa body art og performance art. Gi-emphasize niya or gipasiugda or gi-emphasize niya ang spontaneidad o direktang komunikasyon or diha nga pakig-uban sa artista sa ilang palibot. Imbes nga mag-concentrate sila sa paghimo sa isa ka perpekto nga resulta, giisip sa mga artista ang pagbuhat sa isip kabahin sa arte. Second is artist George Mateo became known for action painting, from of improvisation where the artist's movements and gestures are part of the artwork itself, emphasizing process, energy, and immediacy. Si George daw naghimo George Mateo daw naghimo og isa ka talagsaong estilo sa action painting nga nakapahimulos sa mga tao og nga nagpasiugda sa katulin or kapaspas og pagkawalay pagplano og emosyonal nga intensidad. Og sa ani nga pamaagi sa pagpintal mismo sa to pagpintal mismo sa nahimong parte sa trabaho kung asa gikan ang mga lihok og pisikal nga interaction sa artista nagbilin og klarong mga timaan sa canvas. paspas kayo si Mateo sa pagbuhat. Usahay agpakahuman jud siya sa iyahang pagpintura sa pila lang ka minuto aron makuha ang diha-diha nga emosyon ug enerhiya.
Appropriation. Appropriation means borrowing, copying, or using existing image, styles, or ideas from other artworks, cultures, or media and giving them a new meaning, message, or context. So, one artist magbabara sila og uh, artwork nga maghimo sila, baguhon nila and makahimo pud sila og a new kana nga artwork mahimo pud nila og bag-o nga meaning. Appropriation art raises questions about ownership, authorships, originality, and originality. If an artist displays a work in a museum, does the meaning and the ownership belongs to the artist or the audience who interpret it? So appropriation art make us think about who really owns an image or ideas. So give siya og kuan if ang kinsa ang owner ay owner na belong ba siya sa original artist or sa audience nga nag-interpret ana. In the 20th centuries, artists began exploring these questions, arguing that viewers' interpretation gives meaning and value to an artwork. Appropriation artists use existing image or artworks, borrowing and contextualizing them to create new meanings. So in the 20th centuries, artists said that the viewers' interpretations also gives value and meaning to art. Appropriation artists borrow existing image and place them into a new concept to create a fresh image.
Next, appropriation. Historical imitation was a way of was a way for apprentices to learn, but appropriation became more conceptual, exploring ideas about identity, culture, and ownership. So before, ang imitation is the way of apprentice to learn. So para makabalo sila, ang imitation ko ang unang pamaagi para makabalo ang isa ka bag-o nga artist. Next is, however, ethical problem arise when appropriation blurs into plagiarism or forgery, especially if credit is not properly given. So before, artists copied copied by their teachers to practice and learn. But now, appropriation is used to explore identity, culture, and meaning. The problem is, it becomes unethical big mangod. It becomes an ethical mangod when artists copies with copies without kanang wala ito siya ginahatagan o credit. Muna siya ang mapaingon na siya is this is copies without giving credit. This can lead into plagiarism. So kung copy lang ni mga wala nimo siya ginatagaan o sakto nga pag-credit, so muna siya ginatawag nga plagiarism. Example is if an artist copies a famous painting exactly and claim it as their own as uh, example is if an artist copies a famous painting like Mona Lisa and other famous painting and claim it as their own, so this is called what we call plagiarism. Next is appropriation. Forgery can take two forms: outright copies of existing artwork, pastiche work that can combine or mimic different style to create something new. So number one is outrage copies. So outrage copies is a direct exact copy of an artwork. Example is painting a fake version of a famous painting like Mona Lisa. And then you sell it as a real. So that that is what we call outright copies. So nagpaint ka pero fake siya, ginaawat na nimo, like mga ina na ginaawat nimo sa original pero piki siya, pero gina-sale nimo or ginabaligya nimo as same price sa original. Pastiche, or number two, pastiche is, it is a mixing or imitating different style to make something new. So example, making a painting that works like a mix of Van and other artists style. So it makes that kanang means that pastiche is kanang pinagsama-sama or pinag-combine nga mga style para maka-create of something new ay bago. Next is, in modern art, forgery can even mean imitating an artist's style so closely that it looks like a new work by that artist. The intention behind appropriation is often misunderstood. While some see it as copying, others view it as a way of in reinterpreting or challenge existing ideas. So in modern art, forgery can also means copying artist style. So close that people think it is a new artwork by the artist. So people often misunderstood about appropriation. Someone is think that is just copying or simply copy lang. But ang uban is, some others says that it is a way to reinterpret or challenge to old ideas that make something new meaningful. So ang uban kuno is, it is a way of reinterpreting, gina-reinterpret nila para napoy karang something ideas nga bag-o o mas meaningful pa. Appropriation. Appropriation invites viewers to recognize familiar images but see them through a new perspective, questioning originality and authorship. By doing so, it transforms the meaning of the original work and give it a new culture or conceptual significance. So it means that appropriation in art means using an existing or a familiar image and showing it in a new way so that people see it in differently. So it means that ang appropriation is use siya og existing familiar nga mga images o ginapakita diri ang bag-o nga pamaagi para makita sa mga tao ang diferensya. So it makes viewers think about who really owns an image and how its meaning can change when an artist reuse it. So sa pamaagi ani makes viewers about maka-think sila kung kinsa ba daw ang nag-iya sa isa ka image o sa isa ka artwork o yun sa yun sa nila na para mabag-o or para matagaan ng bagong meaning ang isa ka art o ginoon sa nila pag reuse ang isa ka art. So that's all.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Alessa Galarion. Uh, Andy Warhol's Campbell soup cans. Andy Warhol's Campbell soup cans in 1962 is one of the most iconic example of appropriation art. Warhol produced the familiar soup can label, turning a common commercial image into fine art. Then, common commercial image lang siya baligi advertise lang siya na soup cans, then gihimo niya fine art. So by filling the entire picture plane with repeated soup cans, he blurred the line between mass production and artistic creation. So giblur the line niya is naghimo siya og it means he used factory like or naghimo siya og murag pagtan-aw nato is giproduce sa machines pero gipaint the eye niya and repeated production method in his work. Sa isa ka canvas, nagpaint siya then gibalik-balik ra dayon niya awat ani nga picture. Ingani siya. And then gibutang na din niya sa isa ka frame ingadto siya nga kuan sa picture. Then ang simple lang nga product is nahimo lang niya ay ginagamit or ginapalit tas nahimo niyang fine art. Then his work reflected society's growing obsession with consumerism, advertising, and branding. So and these works reflected society's growing obsession is kanang sa kanang consumerism is kanang nagpalit lang sila product nga dili nila nagpalit or gagamit sila product nga dili gid nila ginagamit just for pleasure or status lang sa kanang advertising pod nga gapalit sila advertising ay kanang brand ay product nga kanang sikat lang sa advertise sikat sa mga brand mga ingana. Then Warhol's isolated the image of the product, highlighting how brands and packaging shape identity and influence desire. The piece forces viewers to think about what makes something art and how context can transform everyday object into cultural icons. So Warhol focused on products image to show how brands and packaging affects how we see ourselves and what we want. His work challenged us to rethink what counts on art by turning ordinary items into powerful cultural symbols just through context. Then, summary: art is a reflection of history, emotion, and culture. So, understanding form and style content deepens our appreciation of meaning in art. So improvisation encourages creative freedom and spontaneity. Spontaneity means acting or happening naturally and without planning, often in response to an inner impulse rather than outside influence. Appropriation challenges traditional ideas of originality and ownership. Together, this concept shows that art is not static, it is a continuous dialogue between artist, artwork, and audience. So this means that art is always changing. It involves ongoing exchange between artists and artwork and the people who experience it.